For the second time in just 1 week, Rochester police are investigating a bank robbery, but that has not been the only target for criminals this week. A local restaurant was also targeted in an attempted robbery. We first today turn to the bank investigation with KIMT News 3's Adam Sauer to talk to police this morning. He's live with more. Adam?
Tyler, just 24 hours ago, this bank in North...
That guy right there.
What?
That's the robber.
Oh, that's the robber. This is live TV, folks. That's the robber. Just went by, according to the bank employee. So I got to go here and call 911. I'll talk to you later.
I can assure you that was not set up. Now, Adam Sauer is currently on the scene investigating. That was an employee of the bank that came out from Sterling Bank in Rochester.
When we watched the incident happen live on our midday newscast yesterday of a bank robbery right behind our reporter during his live report, we wanted to see what that suspect looked like as much as anyone else. And as it turned out, we did capture video of that person on camera before the live shot. We showed you that video today. Dee Dee Stephen is showing us now the two clips side by side so you can see just how close this suspect came to being part of that live report.
That guy right there.
What?
A few minutes before the now infamous midday live shot, our cameras were rolling, and look what they caught. That is Ryan Liskow walking right behind reporter Adam Sauer and into the bank he's about to rob for the second time in 2 days. A few minutes later, he exits in a hurry, but appearing to look right at our camera. The suspect is followed by the bank employee running after him, which was seen during midday. But look how close Liskow was to being seen live on air. We delayed airing this footage until we could show it to police and have them positively identify the suspect they brought into custody yesterday afternoon, which they did, and say it was a bold move to walk right in front of a TV camera, but say it's not unheard of.
We've had shootings committed where officers are present. We've had crimes committed where officers are parked across the street.
Remember this? Back in November, a pet store was robbed at knife point. That store was located in the same area where police had blocked off an entire parking lot due to a bomb threat.
It goes to show you that human nature, when it is experiencing a little bit of stress, it's certainly tunnel vision. I'm not saying that's the case in this instance, but that could be one explanation why someone in this case was about to rob a bank and walked right by a news reporter about to go live.
Investigators told us this morning that Liskow has confessed to committing both robberies and stealing his father's car. They said he used the same method in both crimes, passing a note to the bank teller demanding money. Yesterday's note said, quote, "Hello, it's me again."
That's the robber. Just went by, according to the bank employee. So I gotta go.
While the outcome of this scene went viral, law enforcement officials say they're just glad no one was injured in either crime.
Tonight, Governor Jeb Bush is in Mason City with his message for voters. KIMT News 3's Matt Bradley is live at Music Man Square, where the governor is just beginning a town hall with people from all walks of life. He joins us now with more. Matt?
Yes, Amy, that town hall meeting has just begun. The governor just took the stage. I'm going to take a step aside and let you take a look at this event. It's a packed Music Man Square tonight. About an hour ago, I was able to speak one-on-one with this presidential contender. In fact, KIMT was the only station able to meet with him one-on-one at this event. Heard his reaction to the late-breaking news that Scott Walker was dropping out of the race. We also discussed his image among young voters, his plans for the Iran nuclear agreement. But one thing that pertains especially to Iowa voters, the renewable fuel standard. Turns out it will be phased out on his watch.
Over an extended period of time, there needs to be a transition towards a more market-oriented approach where ethanol is guaranteed access to the pump, but not, it has to be competitive with other sources of energy. So what I've proposed is that it be phased out post-2022.
All right, and what reaction does that garner you in a place like Iowa?
Look, I think people respect the fact that I believe in free markets. I believe in freedom. I believe in entrepreneurial capitalism.
I'm Adam Sal live in Rochester following a developing situation as a major hub in the city is being shut down because of a suspicious vehicle. Now, this all started when police got a call of a suspicious vehicle just after noon on Broadway, which is going to be shut down in just a couple of minutes. Now, they said that the person inside was doing lewd behavior, and when officers ran that license plate, they found it was connected to an incident in the Twin Cities with the airport there and possibly a bomb threat. And that's all we know right now. And according to Rochester police, when they had a bomb squad here and also a bomb dog, they found that there was possibly explosive material in the back. There was baggies and also a briefcase in the back. So all in all, they're evacuating 3 businesses, and they're also shutting down Broadway, which is located right behind me right here. And you can actually see one of the police officers about to shut down Broadway. And right now, KIMT News 3's Dee Dee Steepen is also going to an armed robbery that was at knife point. The suspect is in custody. But right now, there's a lot of breaking news happening in Rochester. Of course, stay with KIMT.com and KIMT News 3 for the very latest.
Without a doubt, this is the best. A huge night of high school football for about 20 teams in our area. Some hoping they'll get to put on the pads in the playoffs. Others fighting for a district title. 4 matchups tonight that could impact that race for first place, including our spotlight game of the night in Class A District 3. West Hancock and Garrigan, the winner gets the crown. This is the chance that the Vikings wanted. Minnesota had won 5 in a row. Green Bay had lost 3 in a row. And the Vikes were in first place in the NFC North, with Green Bay coming to their place. But as we saw tonight, first place teams don't have 80 yards of penalties in the first half. They don't miss extra points, and they don't turn over the ball in the red zone.
We didn't play our best game offensively, defensively, special teams. This team you seen play today, it wasn't us. You know, we was out of sync, out of whack. They came in, they executed.
You know, we just can't make mistakes. You can't, miss extra points. You can't, make or have penalties on defense.
After 10 games, Green Bay and Minnesota tied for first in the NFC North, but the Vikings still have to play Green Bay in Green Bay, Week 17. In Minneapolis, A.J. Ellingson, KIMT News 3 Sports.
Of the many fires burning in our area today, a serious blaze in New Hampton.
Portions of 5-Star Co-op caught fire around 2 this afternoon, prompting a large response from several departments. KIMT News 3's Levi Ismail is reporting from the scene today with the latest.
Matt, I'm here in New Hampton, right outside of the 5-Star Co-op. We're right behind me here. You can see firefighters are still working to gain entry into this tall structure that I'm told caught on fire earlier this afternoon. As you can see down there, there's a lot of corn that was actually caught up in the flames. And right now, firefighters are just doing the best that they can to make sure they get as much water onto the corn itself and make sure that they get rid of any of the excess embers that might ignite once again. Now, firefighters, I'm told, had to wear a lot of protective gear over their face just to make sure that they did not get caught up in the smoke from the facility. I'll have more from what it took to actually contain some of this fire later tonight. In New Hampton, Levi Ismail, KIMT News 3.
This is just the latest fire that our area's firefighters have had to put down. One reason, high winds and lower humidity. These two together can create a high risk of a fire.
The moisture value drops, and today it's down to about 25%. That's sucking all the moisture out of, the fuel laying on the ground, because basically dry grass and things like that is fuel. It makes it a lot more flammable.
The DNR will notify Sheriff Freitag if they believe that the weather is clear to call off the warning before 7.
Recapping our top stories this morning, we're going to head back live to KIMT News 3's Megan Hoffman. She's been live at the scene of a fire all morning in Clear Lake. This is on 7th Avenue North at NTI Limited. Fire crews have been battling the flames all morning.
Yeah, we've seen several lives from her already. Let's go to her right now to get the latest details before we wrap up this half hour. Megan, what do we know?
Well, Tyler and Katie, just seconds ago, maybe 30 seconds ago, I heard a loud boom. Sounded like almost an explosion. Now, we can't confirm that it was an explosion, obviously, at this point, but it was a very loud noise coming from inside the building. You can see right here that this southeastern portion of the building is almost completely taken off. Now, I've also seen flames starting to come out of the north portion of the building.
But first tonight, 2 days after a body was found in southern Minnesota, authorities are releasing more information about how that person died. KIMT News 3's Raquel Hellman has more from our Albert Lee newsroom. Raquel, what more can you tell us about what happened?
Well, Amy, according to the Mower County Sheriff's Office, the person found Sunday morning in the Cedar River is the victim of a homicide. The investigation is ongoing and authorities are not releasing many details. But right now, here is what we do know. The body found Sunday morning in the Cedar River near this area has been identified as 39-year-old David Madison. Authorities say Madison was murdered, but they're not saying exactly how he died. The Austin Police Department located Madison's car at this home where they say he was staying. The police department is continuing to help with the investigation. And authorities do want to talk to anyone who had contact with Madison in the days leading up to his death. Anyone with any information about this is urged to contact the Mower County Sheriff's Office. Amy.
Thanks, Raquel. Authorities are still working to determine where Madison was killed. They say it's possible that he was killed somewhere else and then brought to the river. Stay with KIMT News 3 for the latest on the investigation.
We are learning much more about the criminal history of a man whose arrest warrant yesterday required a very large police presence.
Mason City native Levi Anderson was arrested yesterday after running from police during that operation. As KIMT News 3's Emily Boster shows us, this isn't the first time the 28-year-old has had run-ins with the law.
Mason City police and others pulled onto this property to serve Anderson a search warrant. But this is not the first time Anderson's been served by police.
He absolutely is a dangerous person, high risk to the community.
28-year-old Levi Anderson is a known criminal in the North Iowa area. Mason City police, along with others, showed up to a residence where he was, issuing a search warrant Tuesday. Police say he ran from the scene, dropping ammo and drugs. Once caught, he allegedly was found with a handgun and meth on him.
It started out with one officer who spotted him, and from that point on we set up surveillance, and as this whole thing started to evolve, we were obviously having to work somewhat on the fly.
Mason City Police Chief Mike Lashbrook is getting ready to retire his badge. KIMT News 3's Emily Boster has the story.
Everything that I've given, I've gotten back tenfold.
He's just a good man. He's truth and honor and everything that the code stands for, I think, is what he's fought his whole life to prove that really is involved in the job.
He's not here for the cake or the coffee. He's here to say goodbye. In January, Mason City Police Chief Mike Lashbrook is retiring after nearly 36 years in law enforcement. Lashbrook started in 1980 serving in Nashua, then moving to Cedar Falls. He says his passion for wanting to wear this badge started at an early age.
Back in the days when Adam 12 and Dragnet and all those things, I was just hooked.
Just last week, the hiring committee made their recommendation, and as Levi Ismail shows us, the final decision came down to the city council.
The recommendations have been made, and now Mason City is welcoming newly appointed police chief Jeff Brinkley. From 5 candidates to just one, Lieutenant Jeff Brinkley of the Ames Police Department is the lone candidate left standing.
I guess first thanks to you, Mike.
But in the end, the decision had to be made, and I determined that Mr. Brinkley was the best. And there were other processes that pointed to that.
After a long vetting process, City Administrator Brent Trout selected and the City Council voted to hire the longtime Ames Lieutenant as Police Chief of the future, a title Brinkley says he couldn't be more proud of.
Several inches of fresh snow on the ground. A little bit of melting, like we mentioned, so it can all be packed very easily, and then dozens of neighbors to take on in a massive snowball fight. KIMT News 3's Levi Ismail shows us where that dream just came to life.
Heavy jackets, what seemed to be bulletproof armor, and even snow-propelled launchers, residents of Mason City are gearing up for a snowball fight for the ages. Of course, it's all in good fun.
So the good thing about being an adult in a snowball fight like this is you don't necessarily have to worry about being hit as much.
Needless to say, everyone is fair game.
And we here at KIMT are collecting donations of a different kind this holiday season. Once again, KIMT, along with our Giving Your Best partners, Diamond Joe Casino and First Citizens National Bank, are teaming up with the North Iowa Marine Corps League for Toys for Tots. Today we collected toys at Shopco in Mason City. And if you missed today's event, no worries. We'll be collecting donations next Saturday, too. Then we will be at Walmart in Mason City from 10 until noon, and we hope to see you out there.
These fireworks say, for example, that they emit showers of sparks, they produce loud sounds, and a lot of flashing color. Now, until the rules change, we'll actually leave some of these fireworks to the experts, and we'll be dealing with a few of these bad boys over the holiday break.